Alright guys, Dr. Nate here, and I'm going to talk to you about why I think braces are bad. So the question is this: how do we get better, more informed patients and run successful businesses? How can I get the information I've learned from opening multiple dental offices and treating thousands of patients out to you? Those are the questions, and my weekly videos will give you the answers. My name is Dr. Nate, and welcome to the Thrive Dental and Orthodontics channel. Alright, Dr. Nate here, Thrive Dental and Orthodontics, and yes, I'm an orthodontist, and yes, I'm telling you braces are bad, but why are they bad? Let me go through the top 3 reasons why I think they are bad, and some ways to mitigate those badnesses. I don't think that's a word, but I'm gonna use it right here. Alright, number 1, poking. If you've ever had braces, I've had braces. I had braces in my early 20s, and they poke and pinch and all sorts of crazy stuff, and when the wire is long, it's like, kind of poking you in the back. Or how about this, if you had braces, you know my pain. You're sitting on your side or laying on your side or going to sleep and you wake up and everything kind of gets stuck there. I hated that. That is a terrible thing. So that is reason number 1 why I think braces are bad. The second reason why I think braces are bad is because they break. Have you had this? I had this. Tons of our patients have this. They break all the time. And when I say break, I don't mean like they physically snap in half, although sometimes clear braces do that. But what I mean is that when they break is they're coming off the teeth. That's what we call breaking. Not everybody says that, but when the braces actually come off the teeth, that is breaking. How annoying is that? You know what happens when they break to your teeth? Pretty much nothing. Your teeth aren't moving, and sometimes if you don't come in soon enough, they can relapse, and that happens. Some patients come in and they had a bracket that broke like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, and they're just like, whatever, I didn't feel like coming in. And depending on the wire that they're in, I have to go and repair it, and we have to kind of reverse our steps and go to one of those wires that's more flexible. So if you're closer to the end and you break a bracket and it's been a really long time and you haven't come in, so we're probably going to need to extend your treatment time, which is not good. So breaking of brackets is a terrible, terrible thing about braces. That's reason number 2 why braces are bad. And number 3, the third reason why I think braces are bad, and this is probably the biggest reason, and this is the thing that people talk to me about the most, is staining. Staining on your teeth can happen with braces, and why is that? It's not the braces, and that's what people think. They think that put on the braces and for some reason the glue doesn't come off and so your teeth are stained, but it's not that. But it is due to the braces, not directly, but indirectly. What happens is people have their braces, and honestly, most kids, most teens, if you're a teen, you might know this. If you're a parent, you for sure know this. Teens are not the best brushers. So what happens is we put on the braces and they're already kind of mediocre brushers, and they're using a manual toothbrush. Don't use a manual toothbrush, use an electric toothbrush. So they're coming in, we put the braces on, and they are using a manual toothbrush. So what happens is they don't clean the braces that well. They don't clean around the braces, they don't clean under the braces. They're definitely not flossing. And so when they come in, they have all this buildup on their teeth. And I see that, actually I just had one a couple days ago, and the patient came in and there's this food all over. Food on the braces, food on the teeth, food on the gums. It was gross. It was really, really bad. I talked to the mom, I talked to the patient. Hopefully it gets through to them because they can't see what we see, because we have patients like that, and we're going through and we're emphasizing, we're giving them all these tips and tricks to help them out. And sometimes we have to take the braces off, but we may not take them off in time. And what happens is that food has been on the teeth and they don't clean it, so it decalcifies the teeth. It gives these different minerals. So when we take off the braces, there's a white kind of square, and some of you have probably seen this, and that is not directly from the braces, it's from the food and all the food stuff and the bacteria that have eaten away and put all these different minerals into the teeth. So by far, I think that is the worst part of braces, is that staining that can happen indirectly because of braces. So let's talk about how we fix that, how we mitigate that, how we stop that stuff from happening. So number 1, poking. You should be getting wax at the start of your dental or your orthodontic treatment. If you don't, and if your orthodontist doesn't have it, fire them, get another orthodontist, or just go to Amazon, CVS, Walmart, probably, I'm sure they have them everywhere. A little bit of dental or orthodontic wax. And what that does, and I used to use this all the time, but I try not to use it as much, is if you have something that's poking or pinching you and you cannot get into your orthodontist or can't get into your dental office, you just take a little piece of that wax, roll it up into a ball, and put it onto the spot that's really poking you or hurting you. I tell my patients, try not to use this as much, because it's kind of like the palm of your hand. your mouth will get used to the braces quicker if you don't use wax. It just kind of gets used to it, gets used to rubbing, and the mouth gets strong. If you constantly use the wax or different types of things you can do to help it so that it's more smooth, so the braces are more smooth, then your teeth or your mouth may not get used to it as fast as it could is if you did not use any wax. But that is one way to mitigate that poking and pinching. All right, what about the bracket breakage? I will tell you in my experience, for me personally, what happened to me personally, and this happens to people too, is that I was biting on a bracket. And this is my fault. I was in my early 20s. I did not know what was going on, but they put the brackets on, boom, everything's kind of good. I go home and I'm like, oh, I'm not biting down on my teeth. I'm biting down on braces. When you're biting down normally, not like this, not like this, just biting down normally, you should be biting on teeth or something. If they put in there, you're biting on that. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to be biting on braces. If you're biting on braces, there's a good chance you're either gonna fracture your tooth, you're gonna chip your tooth, or more likely, you're gonna break the braces. And this happens, sometimes we put braces on there. I'm going in there, I'm checking. It's really hard to see because everything's so close, but it looks pretty good. Patients kind of biting, patients bite all over the place, so sometimes it's a little more difficult, but they're biting, they're like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm biting on my teeth, no big deal, cool. Then we go, they come back like that night or the next day, and they're like, oh, actually I was biting on braces and now my bracket is off. And if that happens once or twice, not the end of the world, but if that happens multiple times, then you're gonna be coming in all the time. It's annoying for you, it's probably annoying for us. It's just a bad situation in total. So if you're biting on the brackets, that's no good. Also, of course you know this, you have to avoid the hard, sticky, chewy things. If you have braces on right now, if you've had braces in the past, I'm sure your orthodontist or the assistant or somebody has gone over this with you. You have to avoid the hard, sticky, chewy. So if you're gonna eat things like tacos or taffies or anything that's really kind of hard or sticky, you may break off the braces. And that happens multiple times. It's gonna prolong your treatment. We're talking about prolonging treatment. We don't want braces on there forever. You don't want braces on there forever. I definitely do not want you to have braces on forever. That's why we do these things. We don't do these things or we don't talk to you about this just because we wanna talk about it for no reason. We do this because we want this to be as efficient and as enjoyable of an experience as possible. So when we are telling you these things, it's for your benefit. All right, so that's number 2 though. We do not want to break the braces. That is not good for anybody. All right, and number 3, those white stains. Those white stains are the worst part of braces, I think, and there's some ways to easily mitigate that. And obviously number 1 is brushing and flossing very well. What is the easiest way to do that is to invest in an automatic toothbrush. If you're at our office, you can get a Thrive toothbrush. It's a sonic toothbrush, works great. If you're not at our office, go buy a Sonicare. Stop this right now. Go buy a Sonicare. It is maybe like a $80, $100 investment that is gonna save you thousands and just it's the best. So just do that, stop right now, get a better toothbrush. If you're flossing, as you know, with braces, it's a little bit more difficult, but there's different tools and tips and tricks which I've mentioned before to help you floss. And there's another thing that I used when I had braces, and I was a pretty good brusher and flosser, but this just kind of put it to the next level, and that is fluoride mouth rinse. And the one that I use and one I recommend, I'm sure there's a ton of other ones out there, but it's ACT mouthwash, ACT, ACT mouthwash, just over-the-counter mouthwash that is gonna help mineralize your teeth with strong fluoride to help prevent you from getting those white spots. So that is the easiest way to do that. If you do that, you won't get white spots. Adults almost very rarely get white spots, and it's not because their teeth are extra strong or miraculous or something. It's just because they're better brushers and flossers. That's all it is. That's why white spots happen in teens, is because their brushing sucks. And that is why it does not happen in adults. All right, guys, there you have it. That is the 3 reasons why braces suck. But there's ways to mitigate it and to make sure that you have a great experience. Remember, when we're talking to you about these things, it's not because it's for our benefit, it's for your benefit. We want to make sure that you have a great braces experience. All right, guys, that is it. Dr. Nate here at Thrive Dental and Orthodontics. As you know, I'm trying to put out videos every single week answering all your orthodontic, braces, dental, business questions. If you've had any value in this video or any of the other videos, please subscribe below, and I will see you guys next week.